Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Level Up Lomax back with another legendary video. And in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about how to get your CDLs for free in 2025. But before we get into that, let me hook up to this load and get this load ready to roll out. And then I'm gonna get right into how you can get your CDLs for free in 2025. Yeah. Now that we got that taken care of, let's get into how to get your CDLs for free. So if you didn't see my last video from 2024, you can also refer back to that video, or you can stick around in this video, because in this video, I'm gonna try to be a little bit more informative than I was in that video. So let's get into it. The first way, and the way that I got my CDLs for free, was basically through a company that has their own fleet. Let me explain. The best example of this that everybody will know would be Walmart. Walmart has their own fleet of trucks. They have their own, basically, they have their own trucking lane. So basically what Walmart Trucking Company does is take their stuff from the warehouse and the DCs to the Walmart stores. Places like that are the best places to get your CDLs for free, because they have driver training programs. Actually, when I made my first video, Walmart did not have a driver training program, but they do have one now. So if you work for Walmart, specifically the DCs, you may be able to get your CDL for free through them, because now they have a driver training program. I'm not for sure of the exact name. I know it has some type of fancy name, but basically it's a driver training program where they take you from the warehouse, put you through CDL school, and turn you into a truck driver basically. But that is the way that I got my CDLs for free. It wasn't through Walmart. It was through a company called McLean Midwest. They have McLeans all over the United States. But I'm from the Midwest, and that's where we were, or whatever. And that was the name of my DC. So that's where I got my CDLs from, and they are a private fleet. They take their products from their warehouses to all of their different retail and convenience store customers. So they needed drivers, and they went into the warehouse and they picked guys out of the crowd that wanted to become truck drivers basically. I'm gonna tell you exactly how it happened for me. I was a loader. I was loading the trucks already, and my supervisor at the time had been a truck driver, but he didn't like it, so he quit truck driving and came back to the warehouse to be a supervisor. Fast forward, the transportation manager was looking for guys that wanted to be in the driver training program, and I had been doing a great job loading the trucks. So when the transportation manager came into the warehouse, my supervisor pointed him in my direction. The guy came over and talked to me, and the first thing he said to me was, instead of loading 3 trucks a day, how about loading 3 trucks a week? And I was like, what you mean by that? And he was like, as a loader, you have to load 3 trucks a day, but as a driver, you only have to unload 3 trucks a week. Of course, that included driving to the stop and all of that stuff, but ultimately, I only really unloaded 3 trucks a week opposed to loading 3 trucks a day. So I was like, damn, that sounds great. And then I would get paid more. So fast forward, you have to have perfect attendance. You have to have like no unexcused absences and not being late to work and stuff like that, attendance stuff or whatever. And I checked all of those boxes. And of course you had to have a valid driver's license and no DUIs or no like serious traffic offenses and all of that stuff before you could get accepted into the program. Fast forward, I got accepted into the program. They sent me off to school. I got paid while I was in school. The school was 6 weeks. And then when I got out of school, they brought me back to the yard. I practiced on the yard for about a week or two. Then they sent me out on routes with certain drivers, basically as a helper. And then finally, I got my own trainers, and that's when I started to drive. And aside from them teaching me how to do the actual job, those guys did a great job of actually teaching me about driving a truck, because even though I went through CDL school, I still had not actually driven a truck in real life scenarios. Well, we took it out on the road, but that's not the same as actually doing a job in a semi truck. So that was another thing that I feel like was great about getting your CDLs this way, was because you got extra training. Sometimes when you go to CDL school and then they send you out over the road, you don't get as good of training or as much training as you maybe should. So this is another reason why I recommend getting your CDLs this way, but all in all, that was that, and in my town, there was also another company called Sigma. They are under the Cisco umbrella. And they did the same thing. They put guys through CDL school. They actually had their own CDL school where they trained guys or whatever, and they took them out and trained them in their trucks, and then they took them to the DMV to take their test or whatever. And that was the way that they did it. But all of these places may have slight differences in the way that they do it. But all in all, you have to find a place that has a CDL driver training program, and most likely it's gonna be companies with private fleets. So we can go down the list: McLean, Cisco, Sigma. I think US Foods has one. I can't think of who else got one right now, but it's a lot of different companies that has one. So at the end of the day, that's really what you have to look for when it comes to getting your CDLs for free through one of these companies. I also got a comment on one of my previous videos that said a guy said that he got his CDLs also through Amazon. And I did not know that Amazon offered a driver training program as well. And also, I think UPS and FedEx, all of these type of places with private fleets are the ones that you should, look for when it comes to having these or getting into one of these driver training programs. The first course of action that you could do is go to your supervisor and ask your supervisor, hey, do we have a driver training program? Because a lot of companies have it and people don't know about it. A lot of companies have it and they don't actually advertise it to their current employees. They maybe post it on job sites and in job markets, but they don't actually tell their people that already work for them, like, hey, you could become a truck driver through us, So at the end of the day, the key words to look for are driver training program at these warehouses, and that's really it. It's really not much to it as far as finding the right place that's gonna put you through school and everything. You just basically have to put yourself in position. If you don't work for one of these places, you could try getting into asking about the program and then seeing what the requirements were, because some places do require you to work there for 90 days or 6 months before you can actually get into the driver training program, because it's basically just preventing people from coming to the company just to do that, you know. So that's really it, guys. Like, that's really it, you know. And a few other ways that I do have that you can get your CDLs for free is you can go down to your unemployment office and ask if they offer any CDL tuition programs. That way is where you basically go through unemployment, and they will put you through CDL school, and they will either pay for it or they will give you a grant for it that you'll have to pay back later. But you just have to go to your local unemployment office and just ask them, do they have any programs that can help you go to CDL school? You know, there are also some jobs that offer tuition reimbursement. So say if you work for a trucking company as like a yard jockey, or as like a cleaning person, like maybe you clean out the trailers, because I know at McLean, some of the guys that went to school with us weren't warehouse guys, they were like maintenance guys or stuff like that. So at the end of the day, you just have to find where you can get your CDLs for free, basically, you know. But 9 times out of 10, it's gonna come from these warehouses or factories with their own private fleet. You know, I'm not too sure about factories. I do know some factories do have their own fleets, like Tyson, the chicken people, basically. I know that they had their own fleet. So that'll be another place if you work in one of those type of places, like a manufacturer like Tyson. I know that they had their own fleet. I'm not for sure if they have a driver training program, but I would imagine that they may have one, so it'd be worth checking into. But at the end of the day, that's really it. That's really it, you know. And I've been recommending this to everybody that asks me, you know, and I've heard success stories. I've heard a lot of people say that, yes, I got my CDL for free. And I also had some pushback on my last video. A lot of people say, oh, it's not free. It was literally free for me. It was completely free. I even got paid while I was in school. So, I mean, like, not only was it free, but I got paid to go to school. So these programs exist. You know, these type of opportunities exist. You just have to find them. So really, that's all I got for y'all today, man. Make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave me some comments down in the comment section. It's your boy Level Up Lomax checking out.